What's up, guys? Jonathan Burt here, Degenerate Powerlifting, waiting on Chris to jump online so he can join us for our Q&A podcast, whatever you want to call it. Just a couple of degenerates running their mouth about strength training, I guess, is really what it comes down to. As you know, Chris just competed at the WPO semifinals, totaling 2670-ish. Much better lifter than me, so I'm glad we have somebody that's still kicking ass and taking names at this point. We've got a handful of questions to go through, but most of it will be just Chris and I talking shit. You want the honest truth. And there's Chris right there, so let's add him in. There you go. What's up, boss?
What's going on?
I was just what was your exact total from the semifinals? 2670?
2671.
There you go. So that was
we can't forget about that one.
That's important.
That's important. That could put me ahead of somebody.
Well, look, so Clint Smith's best total was 2502. Mine was 2500. So I never heard.
You never heard the end of that.
Yeah. So
you
it was
never heard the end of that one.
Because I literally almost took a 5 pound more than to. And I was like, man, if I miss it because of that 5
if you miss it because of that 5 pounds, oh.
So I played it safe at that point. Oh man.
I need to hold on. I need to prop my phone up. This isn't working.
That's an important piece there, my friend.
I know. Shit.
Oh, Dom. Hello, friend. Aren't you supposed to be like running some sort of excavator or something right now, Dom?
Hold on. There we go. That works, right?
Yeah, there you go. I'm not sure about the hat, but the beard looks.
You know what? It's my Tito's hat.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I understand.
It's my Tito's hat. So
sponsorship.
This is sponsored by Tito's.
There you go.
This is yeah.
It's coronavirus remedies.
Yeah. No, we're back.
Oh man. So we got a handful of questions. One of them was, how do we program accommodating resistance? And obviously we do it differently. And so I would tell people this. I was reading somebody's post the other day. I don't remember whose it was, but they were talking about.
What was it? An intelligent post?
Yeah. It was talking.
Oh, okay, good.
But I think it was Brian Hills actually talking.
Okay,
about
lifting
the bar out of the rack, and immediately what mine was, well, that's why Chris puts 10,000 pounds of accommodating resistance on the bar because if he can unrack it.
Because if you can pick it, you can squat it.
Okay,
that's true.
I mean,
that's 100% true.
There's some damn truth to that, but I stay on the moderate side of it and just kind of, adjust it based off. And I rotate bands and change. Really, what I do, I just got from Paul Key. Like what I do is nothing special, a few hundred pounds just to get people, adjusted. But yours is completely different, and your logic really makes sense to me. As somebody who's been around for a while, you want to just give them a little bit about what you do.
So I've toyed with it both ways, and we've had the conversation in the group chat a bunch of times about the AR to straight weight conversation. How much AR should it be? How much real weight should it be? And to be honest, every time that I go back and look and see, all right, what did I do or what did I program? It always comes back to the more AR closer to the meat, it just translates. It just translates. Because I guess it's all about your top, the number at the top.
Yeah.
What's that top number? If that top number is increasing during your circumax, and again, that's a very broad statement for lots of people. Very broad statement for lots of people. But your circumax should get you ready. To me, what is Brian saying?
Something about massaging you. I can't see it.
When did he massage me? I probably bombed. There was a bomb probably, but I don't know when Brian massaged me.
I don't know, but all I saw was something about massaging Chris.
I just saw something about a bomb. So I knew he was probably talking about me.
Well, it could be me too.
That's okay. Fine. But every time that it ends up working, it's an increasing total as an increasing total amount gets bigger as you get closer to the meet. So it's going to sound fucked up, but the last pick before the WPO semis was 1450 at the top.
Jesus Christ.
And look, I know it is not 1,450 pounds. I'm not a fucking idiot, guys. All right.
Real weight, man. Real weight matters.
But I know that when the bar doesn't clear the rack anymore because you've reached maximum capacity at the top, and you can still pick it, then when you take off, regardless if it's straight weight or AR weight, when you take off 450 pounds, because my opener was 1003, right? When you take off 450 pounds off the top end, it feels light on your back.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know just as much as anybody, if you pick a weight and it feels light, you're more likely than not going to hit that number.
Now, do you use a bunch of AR doing your speed work?
So I've gotten a little bit more away from speed work as of late, at least going into this last prep. My second day, I actually turned it into more of an accessory day.
Yeah.
Just a straight accessory day. Maybe I would pull, as I got closer to the meet, I pulled more. But earlier on in this prep, that was just a straight, almost like bodybuilding type day.
Yeah.
Like I knew that I needed to put a little bit more size on my legs. Could I have squatted more? Probably. But after a 3.5 hour squat session, my accessories are slim to none.
Yeah.
Slim to none.
So you're not throwing 40-pound dumbbells like Radar?
No, I'm not even doing that. I'm not even doing that. Like, I think we finished the heavy Circumax before this.
Brian is killing you right now. He just said what legs?
Brian, I got bigger legs at 260 than you do at 308. Come on. I got no belly either, big fella.
Easy now.
Yeah, but you're not talking shit. I see Brian Carroll 81 talking shit down there.
Oh man. What was your go-to back movement? Obviously
like back work? Like if I'm just going in and I want to hit back.
You want to train your back a little bit, staying off the pool. What do you do?
So I love McGill's.
Okay.
Love McGill's.
There you go, Brian.
Yeah, there you go, Brian. I love McGill pull-ups. I love them. I love the McGill Big Three. I love it. How's that? You happy now? All right. I love McGill pull-ups, and I love croc rows.
There you go.
I don't love croc and love croc rows.
Yeah. What about Janae? Do you love Janae?
Love both of them.
Yeah.
Love both of them.
I can't really complain about either one.
No. But I'll sit there, like there'll be times where I'll have 10 minutes or an extra 10 minutes, and I'll just see how many McGill pull-ups I could do in 10 minutes.
I've got now where I work it in with my kids here at the school. It took a little while to get us where we were strong enough to do them correctly.
To do them the right way. That's the biggest thing, is doing them the right way. You could do single rep pull-ups all day if you really wanted to, but if you're not doing them the right way, then what's the point?
Yeah, actually, I do that and a lot of suitcase carries with kids. Both things I stole from Brian along the way. It's been very helpful, with building an athlete versus a power lifter.
Right. I mean, they still got to be mobile. They still have to be able to do, to have their agility. But I mean, I don't care what anybody says. I still rather be able to be a little bit mobile and have some of my agility too. So, like, I always want to make sure that I have my single leg stuff in there. My pull-ups, my body weight stuff, like that's stuff that you need as a lifter.
I tell people all the time, if the program has no unilateral movements in it, then it's not well written. It's kind of cookie cutter.
There's got to be some type, and I'd like to do it either all on an accessory day. So like I know the team right now, they were doing single leg squats and single leg RDLs, like in the same accessory day. Like that's a whole, if you've never done single leg stuff and now you're throwing all of that in at once, like there's going to be some kind of carryover. Those little muscles that haven't been trained are being trained now. Like something's getting stronger.
Yeah, no doubt. I've got a client now who has never done any. And so it's really, he's like, man, it's killing me. I'm like, yeah, because you've never done these things. Like, it's not designed just to be difficult. I mean, it's hitting all those weak things that you're not doing. And so
there's a lot of little muscles in there that a leg press or a regular bar, regular back squat isn't going to address.
Yeah, no doubt. So tell us what it's like to go, what was it, 3 for, no, I guess you got all 3 pulls. So 6 for 9 and hit a massive PR. That must.
So the goal was to actually go 6 for 6. That was the original plan, which we talked about.
Yeah.
Where everyone was like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. And going back and realizing I hit my second, what would have been second squat,
yeah,
and would have been, and hit my.
Yeah. I mean, you can't question that.
No one should question either one of those. Yeah. But the only thing that didn't end up where it should have ended up was my bench.
Yeah.
And I think if I don't fuck my shoulder on my third squat by being an idiot and missing it on my second squat, I can then have a better shot at hitting that second attempt bench, going 6 for 6, because a 6 for 6 total would have, if I would have hit my second bench, I would have went over 27.
Yeah. You could have pulled whatever you wanted to try to pull on your
team. Yeah, I could have pulled big that day.
Tried to go for whatever. Did you realize you had that much of a pull in you at the time? I know you hadn't really pushed the pull. Everything had been outrageous band tension pulling again.
So I knew that my pull was kicking when during the peak for my squat and bench, I took my last warm up against Larges.
Yeah.
And it was smoked. And I was like, oh, okay. Like maybe all this band tension does work after all. So then I knew I was good for something. I pulled my opener, I think it was 8 days out.
Yeah.
8 days out. And it was
I talked about that I normally flip those two. You pull closer.
I pull closer.
And I suggest squatting, closer versus pulling.
So I technically take my last squat 14 days out.
Yeah. And see,
14 days. Yeah, and you do it the other way around. I don't know why. There were times where I actually did a squat workout that like week out range, like if it was a Sunday meet, like doing it on Sunday.
Yeah. And
I realized that always led to more issues.
Well, I'm a shitty puller, so that's probably. I'm like, I want to get this over with. So.
and I would have pulled the day before. Whatever.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, it's a love-hate relationship. I still hate it. Like I don't think I've pulled over 5 plates in a year. Like I'll get done, I'll pull a little bit, and I'm like, all right, that's enough.
All right, that's enough. It's gonna be speed work for today.
Like I suck at this. Moving on.
Yeah, no, so the other thing that I realized was that after the Circumax and after the peak, like I'm good. I don't want to fucking squat anymore. Like I'm all set.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'll take the extra 4 or 5 days because to me squatting taxes me way more than pulling.
Yeah, and say pulling
way more
kicks my ass. Most of it's because I'm fat, so it's hard for me to get in good position. I mean it is. I mean that's the truth. Like I've got
that's true
arms and I got a big ass belly, so it makes it really hard to get in good position. And so by the time I get in there and squeeze and set up, man,
you're like, I'm good. I'm all set.
I might as well have 1,000 pounds on my back at this point. So
yeah, no, I for whatever reason that 10-day range, and it's always hit or miss. It's always going to be absolutely smoked, or it's going to be a total grinder.
yeah, like, oh, my body's shit.
And it's like, what kind of, how did prep go so far, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, going back to that, my opener, we dropped my opener.
Yeah.
Because of my shoulder.
Yep.
I didn't know if I was going to be able to hold on to anything. And then I kind of babied my opener. There was no pain.
Yeah.
And then I took my second, which was lower, obviously, too, and it didn't hurt. And I was like, well, if I only got one more and it didn't hurt on the first two, I might as well try.
Run, yeah.
Yeah, so we tried a little bit on that, and
like
it moved.
That I mean, I don't remember what year it was at Arnold where I tore part of my bicep on my opening pull, and I'm like, all right, well, we just took a wrist wrap, one of 30 wraps, and wraps my bicep. I'm like, I'm not fucking bombing. It was so my first one was 14, so it had to be 15 because it was the next one. So I'm like, I'm not bombing 2 years in a row. Like, I'm not having it. Like, I'm not.
I did that. It's not. You come back from that. It happens.
Yeah, like if it tears off the bone, it just tears off. We're going to go pull this, and so I did. And I'm like, it wasn't that bad. Let's take a third attempt.
Let's take a third. Like, let's see.
And so then I snapped it off the floor, and it got like right in my mid knee, and it felt like somebody stabbed me, and I dropped it like a pussy.
No, I'm good. No, no.
I'll never forget icing my arm afterwards, and Jason Egg walks up. He's like, "What'd you pull?" And I was like, I was like 710. And he just laughs at me and walks off. Like, thanks, man.
Thanks. Well, that was like when I after my third squat, when I heard it, I had to like go outside and like calm down, because when I hurt my shoulder, it hurt way more than when I tore my pec. I thought something was like bad in there.
Yeah, and probably panic mode is hit and everything else.
Yeah, and then
the fucking baby. I'm like, well, tell him to stop being a pussy and go finish.
And then it was like you have 6 minutes, and then you have to warm up the bench.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, oh, fuck.
That time structure is brutal. Like, I can't, Hoff being 300 plus pounds and being just ridiculously strong. Like, I don't know how the hell he recovers fast enough to get back under the bar and bench a grand. You know what I mean?
That was more. His grand bench was more impressive because he took that on a second, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, he squatted. What was it, 1160 or something stupid?
He's on another planet.
I don't want to talk about it. I took second, and then I went back and looked. It was like, fuck, it was still 20 points. Like, oh, Jesus Christ.
with him taking openers.
With him taking openers. I was like, oh, God. But then I was like, all right. And then he had to go bench again. And then he stroked 930.
Yeah.
And then he's sitting there, and he's like, I guess I'll take another one. He's like, oh, 1018.
Yeah.
All right.
The guy's he's insanely strong.
Yeah.
So there's everybody else in the world. But I will tell you this, and I forgot to post the video. I got asked the question, is there anybody that could beat him at the finals, assuming he doesn't bomb? And so, Hoff going 6 for 9 is probably almost impossible to beat. The only way it happens is if, like you or Merck goes 9 for 9, cuts super big, you know what I mean, and catches them on coefficient. But here's the funny one. I don't know if I've told you this or not. I got a message that, Dan Bell trains with a bunch of equip guys, Daniel, and, and it was, he had some wondering about getting in some gear. I asked if I had any big stuff around. That's probably the only other person out there that could do that, but it would take a little time to get used to.
It would take time for
the bench shirt.
You're gonna go 25. You're gonna go 2,500 or did he go? Was it 25 or 24?
Yeah,
it was something stupid.
Perhaps, yeah.
Like, that's insane.
Yeah. Insane.
So the base that he's starting with is incredible. Yeah. So someone like him, you give him super loose gear.
Yeah. Well, just a decent set of briefs, you figure he's going to squat well into 1200s, but the bench is going to be a problem because,
But even if you put him,
he's still going to need to get 300 pounds out of a bench shirt to keep up.
Right. Even if, but you figure you put him in a loose shirt.
Yeah.
You know, nothing that's going to restrict his movement too much. I mean, fuck, you don't know. You don't know. But I mean, that goes for anyone. Like, look at dipshit Dom, right? We put Dom in gear. He could, you know.
There's no telling. There really is. But just so we're clear, it's a couple of quit lifters not talking shit about raw lifters. It's amazing how that works, right?
No, it's not talking shit about raw lifters. I'm saying Dan Bell would probably do very, very, very well in gear.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I think his deadlift would suffer because his hands are going to be so swollen after that bench shirt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's that.
People don't realize that.
People don't realize there's a lot of extra shit that we got to deal with.
They don't think about, oh, well, why do these multiply deadlifts aren't that good? Well, part of that is because your hands are so huge after a damn equipped bench. They don't realize how much it cuts off the blood, and then your hands are.
And then your hands look like they're like bigger than this, like normal. And then what do? Then you can't grab anything.
Yeah, it makes it a bitch. It really does. It really, really does. One of the other questions we got was, and this fits both in our wheelhouse, how do you mentally prepare for lifts after you've coming back from injuries? We've both torn our pecs. We've both had some major injuries along the way. And, my answer to it was simply, I go through a mental checklist. Once I've made the commitment that I'm going after these weights again, I'm healthy, I just go through my checklist like it's any other weight, and I don't even think about it anymore. Maybe there's some fear coming into it, but I think fear is a little healthy. Like, you need to be aware of what you're getting ready to put your body through. But at the same time, once you've made that commitment, you've got to push that out of your mind as you're approaching that bar, because it has to be you and that weight. It can't be anything else outside of that.
So, yeah, 100%. The fear is always – I think the fear is always going to be there a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it has to be. Trust me, it sucked when I tore my pec.
Yeah.
But my thing is, you have your testers of, your gauges of strength. What should feel good, what doesn't feel good. I know for me, I was terrified to bench, to put anything heavy in my hands.
Yeah.
Without either a slingshot on, a board, shirt, whatever, right after I came back. And then it was like, all right, well, how do we address this? Like, that can't be the case forever. Like, it can't be one of those guys who throws their shirt on at 315. Sorry, whoever that may be, but that just doesn't resonate with me. Yeah. So it was like, all right, let's get your bench back to at least the point you were at when you tore it.
Yeah.
And that way, all right, at least bare minimum, my strength is there.
Yeah.
So then just by, that thought alone, you're like, all right, well, if I know I can do this and I can hit it and hit it and hit it and it not be an issue, that fear kind of turns a little bit more into confidence.
It does.
So then you get a little bit more confident under the weight, and maybe you're not as hesitant. Your first rep, you're pulling in nice and slow, and then reps 2 and 3, you're back to your old normal, pace or in your normal groove. That's just going to come with more time under the bar. I mean, is it ever going to go back to the way it was before you got hurt? No, it's not. So
it don't look the same either.
And it's trust me. But you can kind of turn that into a little bit more confidence by just trying to get yourself back to where you were. And then you're like, all right, maybe I can push it a little bit more. Maybe I can get a little stronger than where I was. And then it's all going to translate to, when it comes time to, if you're in gear putting a shirt on, all right, you have that extra layer, that extra bit of protection. All right, maybe you can turn it on a little bit more or get after it a little bit harder because you're not so worried. Yeah. There's not so much doubt in your mind.
You got a comment in there. If it doesn't scare you a little, it's not heavy enough. Coming from an all-time world record holder.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Was oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, when you have that much weight over your face,
Yeah.
If it's not,
you better have some big balls, son. That's all
yeah,
I can tell you.
yeah, yeah. That's a big old bench.
Yeah. I
That's a
watched
big old bench.
Brand at a USPA meet, and I was like, like, because they wouldn't let the spotters up there and everything else. And no way.
No
Yeah.
shot.
You're
No way.
to me, buddy. I'm not taking a handoff from some strangers out there. Like,
No, from some strangers that I don't even know that they probably can't lift up this one side.
Like,
No.
that's tough. Oh man, what are your plans now? I know you're gonna take some time to get healthy. So what does training look like for you healthy? You know what I mean?
So, knock on wood, I was able to stay pretty damn healthy going into the semis.
Yeah.
Which hasn't really happened very much.
Yeah. It's hard to do it at your level. I mean, period.
So I think the plan is I'm going to go back and I'm going to kind of look and see what I did at the beginning of that prep, or after the finals, before, and then at the beginning of the prep for semis. What did I do? What did I use?
You did a lot of glute work. You did a lot of glute work. You started working your front squats back in, and you added a bunch of volume to your bodybuilding day. I remember
Sure did.
Because, like when we were going through that process, I just remember talking about, because I had problems with that one glute that wouldn't fire, and you're like, all right,
yep,
that seems to be the reason why I'm bobbling in the hole a little bit, and it's still there a little bit, but we're talking about at 1,100 pounds. So, you know what I mean?
Right. And I think the couple of changes I made, squatting helped. I brought my feet in a little bit. I think that helped. I think there's still things that need to be worked on squatting wise, but I think, and I know people are going to bitch and moan and they're going to say whatever the fuck they want. I don't care, but box squats are going back in.
Yeah, well, there's nothing.
100%.
Like I have my players do them all the time. Like,
my team, the raw lifters, you can ask them, they'll motherfuck me all they want, but they box squat at least once a cycle. At least once a cycle.
Like, and I guess people, because over the years people have asked me, and I don't do a lot of them, but I program them quite often. I just don't do a ton of them. And people think I'm like anti-box squat because of that. Like, I'm not. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a great movement. I just think you have to make sure you free squat enough that you don't.
Of course. And that's why there's going to be, I'm typically one, especially for like my own training, where there's a little less of a plan and more of a like, fuck it, whatever. Let's see what I feel like doing today. Yeah. I think if because this off season's so long, and yeah, there'll probably be a tune-up meet, if we decide to do that thing that we talked about. Yeah. Something local. Yeah. Maybe not be so fat and make an easier cut for myself to 42. I'm probably just going to take the same big cut from wherever, but whatever.
We could have got you to it pretty easily this time, though. I mean, it was.
I could have easily gotten there, but I think
there was no point, though.
There was no point.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the difference in how you go about winning and placing in big meets versus doing. You make sure you secure what you need to secure, which is what he did.
Yeah, there was no need to cut those extra. I don't even remember.
15 pounds.
12, 13 pounds maybe. Could I have done it? Yeah, but why? For what reason? Like.
Yeah, you go chase the world record at a local meet where you.
And that's exactly what I'm gonna do, because there's no like. Yeah, we'll go up to Hellbent, and that's like squatting on a Sunday.
So Brian just brought up a good point. That would be a good one to do. I just can't do it during football. But October, Bert and Mindy are trying to do the memorial meet.
Oh, the memorial meet. I know.
That would be a good one.
If it wasn't
Bert
so,
and Mindy run good meets. They
do. They absolutely do. If it wasn't so, I just don't know about the timing before the finals.
Oh yeah, when are they going to do that? November, right?
No, I think they said September. I thought it was like early September, and that's just not gonna. I need that tune-up meet to be June probably.
Yeah.
June, July. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it was last year. Yeah, I mean, we bombed out of that one too, but yeah.
I messaged Sean Knowles because he's got an APF meet listed in July in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, that was the one you were talking about.
So July, Fort Lauderdale sounds like a good idea to me. And it gives me time to get ready. So, it'd be something I may consider. But if not, I may just come up to your guys, and I'm not worried about an APF meet. It's not like I could do the finals if I wanted to during football anyway. But I wanted to do the semifinals just because I like to compete against,
Against that, yeah.
I mean,
I'm talking
about, I'll be in the bottom half. I mean, I'm a realist. But I will be secure.
You cracked the top 15. We did the math, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, I would with a decent day. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can go into the 24s right now without a whole lot of work. But that's assuming one of these bench shirts come through.
That red one looked pretty. That red one looked pretty.
Sent 8 bench shirts. Like, here, fat boy, figure something out. Like, mail the rest back. So that's the plan Saturday. I'm going to get in that red overkill and make sure I can just bring everything down, pretty easily. Just with limited help, it's hard, man.
We talked about that. We said that was your biggest issue was just getting people in there to
that understand what's going on, really.
Yeah. You know what? From obviously, Hellbent's one, it's in its own separate place, but my guys at my gym, for being raw lifters, they give me better 3-mans than most geared guys do.
Look, I'm absolutely spoiled from training at Sampson with the help we had and stuff. And then, I mean, you saw the article of me talking about bombing with Dave Hoff and Sean Frankel helping me. Like, I don't know if it could get worse than that. So, we all deal with stuff, man, and that's part of the process. Well, Chris, man, I've enjoyed this. Let's try to make sure we do it every day.
Hey, you know what? Since we're quarantined, we might as well do more of this.
Yeah. We'll maybe in another day or two we'll throw it back up again.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Enjoyed it.
Later, Bird.
Later.